So our brief was to develop a Highland-wide community food growing network. And what that means is food grown by the community, for the community, to enable long-term community resilience and sustainability. But listening to the previous 5 presentations here, I'm just thinking this is all completely connected. So it's absolutely amazing to be listening to the other presentations and to be reading the things in the comments and to find out how much this is really, really connected. So what we want to do, we have 2 main things that we would like to do. The first one is that for every village, town, city, community that wants it, to have a community growing initiative. The second thing is that we connect all of these community growing initiatives, starting with the ones that are already existing. And this is the problem that we're having because we don't know how to get that information to know which ones are already existing, but I'll come to that later. So for the communities to have their initiatives, and secondly, for us to connect it so that they can speak to each other. And I'll mention a couple of a few of the benefits of the why we actually want to do this. So the reason why we think that communities should be growing their own vegetables, and here we're talking about things like private gardens and allotments and community growing spaces, growing fruit and veg. We've got benefits to growing. We've got improved health and well-being, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Growing your own veg and connecting with the land and your community. Providing a place for education on good seasonal food, perhaps also how to cook it, and even having a discussion about wider issues such as climate change. Helping develop an appreciation and an understanding of the real value of nourishing high quality food through learning how to grow it and seeing the work involved, rather than viewing food merely as a commodity. And this is, I think, is connected to what Sheila was saying about the schools, you know, the education, not just of school children, but everybody, as to an appreciation of the real value of food. And then also encouraging the buying of local and seasonal and supporting local producers, which again feeds into what groups 1 and 2 were saying before. A community growing project can also increase the availability of healthy local food for everyone. It's there if we grow it ourselves. Community growing is a great way to bring communities together, and could then serve as an excellent jumpstart or a catalyst for further community projects, thus increasing community resilience and also reducing the risk of social isolation, which obviously at this times of coming out of the pandemic is crucial. And then finally, contributing to the Highlands response to the climate and ecological emergency through biodiversity and dealing with carbon sequestration and so on. So these are the reasons why we think that we should be growing our own vegetables in communities. The reasons why we think we should be connecting these communities among the Highlands and perhaps even beyond is that the community groups can then share resources. For example, if they're physically near to each other, they can be sharing things like tools and equipment. They can also be sharing seeds. This leads back to what Colin and Maria were saying just there. They can be sharing expertise and knowledge. And all of this will cut the costs for the groups and also expand and strengthen the local communities in a wider area. Having a connected network will enable some groups to help other groups set up in case they have any questions, and also help keep up the momentum. So with reduced costs and sharing resources, it might increase the chances of a community garden getting started in the first place and being maintained and continuing if finance is one of the issues. We also want to have this network to have stories. We're shying away from the word case studies because we think that's perhaps a little bit too technical. So having stories, success stories of communities which have thrived and prospered from having their community gardens. And then if we can share that on this network and other communities read what other what the success has been in other places, that'll perhaps give them the motivation to start up and to continue. And those stories can then feed into the policy group that Helen was talking about before. Yeah, and then could also provide a resource hub with access to, yeah, we talked about the seeds and the experts, but also access to information to do with, for example, financial information. Where do you get financial help? Where do you get information about land access? So provide that type of resource hub. Where can you get financial support? So that's the two main aspects that we're wanting to cover. Like I said, we've discussed a lot of how we can do it, the technical details. We're talking about surveying first. At the moment, we're trying to find out where we can get all of the information to see what exists already in terms of the existing networks. And we're also talking about getting 2 surveys out. For the first one going to the existing groups to say, can you share your story? Do you want to be part of this network? We'll get a map so that everybody can see where everybody else is. And do you want to share your stories? Do you want to be part of this network? And then the other survey is to communities who we think don't have a community growing project at the moment, and to ask them questions like, firstly, do you have a project? And if not, why not? Did you have one in the past and it didn't work? What happened? Would you like to join with this one? You know, we can offer all of this for you. We've got these resources that we can help you. We can provide support if you want to get something up and running. So we're talking about these 2 surveys to get that kicked off in the first place. And then getting all of this information onto some kind of online platform. And this could, I think, Helen, you talked about being the hub in the middle of the different things. So I think all of these platforms that we're talking about, there could be one platform that links everything, you know, so our community growing project could be part of that platform, because all we're thinking about is a map showing where these community growing places are with the success stories and with links to resources and experts and seedling places and things like that. Yeah, so we've got a little team of 5 of us together who are willing to kind of drive this forward a little bit. Others are interested, but maybe don't have the time right now, which is fine. But there's 5 of us who said we'd like to go ahead with this. So what help do we need now? Yeah, coordination. We need to know what's going to happen with the website. What can we do with the, you know, what resources have we got that the Highland Good Food Conference or the Highland Council can provide? You know, lots of technical questions. But we're very, very excited about this. And like I say, there's a little team of us really, really wanting to take this forward. And so, yeah, I'm very motivated, and everybody else is as well. And like I said at the beginning, it's just been lovely. The whole conference and working with our small group has just been lovely. So thank you to everybody for the organisation and taking part.